Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Charlotte and today it's a wrap up. May has gone. It's out of the window. June is here and we're gonna go through all of the books I read in May. I've read 8 books, which I'm actually pretty happy about because I started a new job. I'm planning a wedding because I'm getting I'm getting married in 2 weeks, something like that. A little bit over 2 weeks. So I've been planning, I've been doing all of that fun stuff. So yeah, very happy that I actually got through 8 books and we're gonna go through all of them and see what I think about them. Okay, so the first book that I read was on my Kindle and it was Zodiac Academy Cursed Fates. So it was book number 5 in the series. I feel like everyone and their mother already knows what Zodiac Academy is about, but basically it's about Dory? No. It's not about Dory. The fish isn't there. It's about Darcy and Tori. They have grown up in the mortal realm. They figure out when they are 18 that they are Fae, and now they're trying to, get through everything in this Fae world. It's a bully romance. I have to say, at this point, I'm not quite sure who the bully is anymore, but that's okay. The story is getting better. I mean, the writing is getting better, of course, because at this point they've written like a gazillion books. But I remember I had to take a little bit of a pause after book number 5 because in my mind the book was just, I don't know, it's not too long per se, but I felt like there was so much information that I didn't really need, or I personally didn't want. So I just wanted to get to the nitty-gritty of it. And I don't know, because I just started book number 6, so I don't know if they heard me, but that's not a problem I have now. But I think that's maybe because I took a little break from it. But I did give it, I think I gave it 5 stars. Because the entire series is like a 5-star series for me, so I think I just automatically just gave this one also 5 stars, yeah. Oh yeah, and then when I was done reading that one, I was like, you know what I said I was never going to do? Yeah, I was never gonna read Magnolia Parks because I DNF'd it and I didn't like it and I didn't enjoy it. But then, I decided that maybe I was the problem and I picked up Magnolia Parks. Decided that I was gonna give it a read, and this time I actually also tabbed it. So I loved it. I had so much fun. This was a prime example for me of how you need to be in a mood to read a book. Because the first time I read this, I was just not in the mood for it. I was so hyped for a different book that also, yeah, we don't talk about that book because I didn't like it at all. But I was so hyped for a different book that I didn't really pick up. I didn't give Magnolia Parks the attention that Magnolia Parks deserves. And now I did, and I am so happy. And if you do not really know what this series is about, it is about Magnolia Parks, like that's her name, and about BJ Ballantyne, which I still find to be a fantastic name, like hats off to you. They are, socialites. Like they come from money, but it's set in London and they have a very toxic relationship. So if you do not like toxic relationship, you do not like, the cheating trope, basically, because, I don't know, is it the cheating trope? I mean, they're not together in this book, but they have this interconnected friend group, so they kind of have to get along. And you can see them yearning for each other, but on their own end, they need something, but they do something different. And then the other person is like, okay, you did this, so I'm gonna do that. It's a very toxic relationship, but the writing is fantastic. Like the way Jessa Hastings has written this book, it is a fantastic book. But if you're not into like the toxic relationship and backstabbing and all of that stuff, this is not the book for you. But I did give it a 4.5. I had so much fun reading it. So much fun. I remember while I was reading it, I was like, why am I getting this information? Why do they keep on pointing something out that Magnolia Parks can do throughout the entire book? They tied it in so nicely at the end. Like it was so nicely just tied in, wrapped, It was very good. I am very excited to read the next one. The next one is Daisy Hates. Some people say you don't have to read them. Like I could just go to the next Magnolia Parks book, but they are connected timeline-wise. So I've talked with a friend that has read them and I've Googled, and everybody recommends that you do read them in the order that the author has released them. So the next one is Daisy Hates, and I'm very excited to read it because a lot of people say Daisy is like their favorite. They like her better than, they like her story better than they like Magnolia and BJ. So that makes me excited, especially because I really enjoyed this one. So 4.5 stars for this one. And yeah, like I said, this is just proof for me that if you're not in the mood for a book, putting it down and picking it back up again at a later date is completely fine. It doesn't mean that the book is bad. It doesn't mean that you don't like the book. It just means that the book is not for you as of right now. As of right now. Then I went over and I started the off-campus series. So this is the first book in this series. This is The Deal. And the reason I wanted to read this series is just because I see so much about the TV show that it's in development right now. And I was like, I want to read the books because I want to know what the hype is about, because I missed out on this one. And in my head, I was like, oh, this is a series from like, I don't know, 2013 or something like that. But I am pretty sure I'm wrong on that one. No, but it's 2015. It's actually first. This book is 10 years old. Better late than never. Better late than never. But anywho, this one is about Garrett and Hannah. Garrett is a hockey player, because they all are. And he lives in a house off campus series. He needs to pass a certain class to be able to play hockey and not get benched because his GPA goes under a certain grade or average, whatever you call it. And one of the people that is acing the class that he is in is Hannah. So he keeps on being like, hey, wanting her to tutor him. And she keeps on being like, ew, no, get away from me, you creep. And then he's like, no, I need you. I need you to okay, I need you to tutor me. And she's like, ew, no, lose my number. I was not prepared for this book to have a serious topic in it as well. I was not prepared for it to have, well, I was not prepared to read about one of the characters' trauma or both of the characters' trauma. It kind of jumped out on me on the first page. Like, I had to reread, and because I'm Norwegian, I was like, am I reading this word wrong? Like, am I the problem? But I wasn't. I was reading it correctly. I was just taken aback because it's like halfway down the first page and I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. So even though it's a light-hearted hockey romance, sports romance, if you do have certain triggers that you cannot read about in any extent, please check your trigger warnings. Just know that the topics in this one, even though they are heavy, they are handled in a very nice way. They are not talked about in a crude way. It's very, even though it's a heavy theme, they're talked about a little bit light-hearted, if I can put it like that. So it's not incriminating. They talk about how they've been to therapy and how they worked through all of this, and so it's not trauma in that sense, but it's a life experience. If you can kind of put them in two different, they're not going through a life trauma right now, they're talking about past experiences, even though that experience is traumatic. So just a little warning on that end. And I do have to say that I love a good sports romance. The thing is that there's so many out there right now that I do enjoy more than this one. This was a fun, silly, goofy time. Easy read, easy to get through, nothing wrong with this series, but it's not my favorite. So I gave it a 3.75, which is a good score. It's a great score. It's just that, if you've seen more of my videos, if you've seen me talk about it, sports romances are my favorite. I have a tendency to score them pretty high because I'm easy to please in that area, but I do enjoy it. I did have fun. If you are intrigued by the series, I would definitely read it because it is a good series. And like a lot of the sports romances out there, nothing of significance happens in the smut scenes. So if you're not one of those people that like smut, but you do like a good romance book, you can just skim through it. You don't have to read all the nitty-gritty stuff. 3.75. And then I got influenced. I actually got influenced a lot because I finally read Binding 13, which I've said for like a year that I'm going to read. And yeah, I have to say, if you want my full reaction, just I understand why people like this book, but also why do you read this? Like, why do you read this? Yeah, that was me when I was finishing the book. It wrecked me. It ruined me. I don't know if I can keep on reading the series because if it's just going to get even more heavy, I don't know if I can do it. I'm not bashing the book. I'm not bashing what's happening in the book. I am just not in a mental state where this is something that I can keep on consuming as of right now. This is something that I kind of need to take a little bit of a distance from. The themes in this book is heavy. It's about Johnny and it's about Shannon, and they are 15 and 17. Yeah, like he's 17, she's 15 years old. I don't want to tell too much of the story because I do not want to spoil it. She changes schools to the school where Johnny is and he plays rugby because she got severely bullied for many, many years. I don't feel like that's a spoiler because it's like chapter 1. So you learn about, I think it's even on the blurb. She has this history that's hanging over her. That part, I mean, it was fine to read about, but there's so much more heavy stuff in this book. Please check trigger warnings if you need to. But if you don't need to and you do want to read it, and you do want to read something that really tugs at your heartstrings, which really makes you feel for fictional characters, I do recommend it. I do. I am just not in a mental state to keep on reading what happened at the end of this book. I am afraid that it's not going to be I am afraid for what's going to happen. Knowing that people go through this, I am so sorry if you're one of them. I'm so sorry if these books feel like they describe your life. I am so sorry. I know it doesn't do anything. I know it doesn't help, but I don't have anything else to offer. I gave it a 4.5. The only reason it's not a 5-star read for me is because it was a little bit too slow for me. I like fast-paced books. At the end, very happy that I read it. I'm very happy that I didn't give up on the book. I didn't even think about giving up on the book, so that wasn't really the question. But still, it was a little bit too long for me, and it made it, it made it not harder to get through per se, but I just enjoy a little bit more of a fast-paced book. So it was just the pages, basically. I don't want to say much more about it. If you need to know more about it, go read Goodreads, go read the blurb on it, figure out the trigger warnings. You've probably seen it all over your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram, Facebook. I was about to say WhatsApp. Maybe you talked about it on WhatsApp. What do I know? It is a good book, but the people, if you read it and you realize I can't read this is too heavy for me, it's super valid. It is, because I'm one of those people right now that have read the first book. I have the next book. I have it ready to read. But as of right now, I am not in a state where I can pick up this book, and that's completely valid. I can't pick up the next one. I think that's valid. I think it's valid to take care of yourself. And for some people, taking care of themselves is keeping on reading this, keeping on going through the emotions like they have to. They feel for them in a not in a different way, but I don't know where I'm trying. Well, I hope you know what I'm trying to say. Some people are apparently more mentally stable than I am because I can't keep on reading it. That's basically what I'm saying. But I gave it a 4.5. I did enjoy it. There was nothing wrong per se with the book. Just a little bit too long for me. I'm not emotionally somewhere where I can read that now. I was in my head, I was thinking I was going to take the next one on vacation, and I'm like, I can't sit by the pool and ugly cry. Well, I can, but it probably doesn't. It probably isn't a good look, Then, after I erect myself, I was like, do you know what I need? Do you know what I need in my life? Rio. This is the 5th and final book in the Windy City series. Yes, there is a different book coming out with, what's his name? Monty, with Miller's dad. Miller is the FMC from the 3rd book. Yes, he is getting a book, but Liz Tomfody has said it's going to be a standalone. It's not going to be part of the series. So this is the 5th and final book in the Windy City series. It's about Rio, and you meet Rio all throughout the other books, but you don't have to read them to read his story. Just know that if you've read one or more of the other books, he gets, you understand this character, you get to know this character so much better because he's been so present in all of the other books. Well, not that present, but he's been there, okay? So this is about Rio, and it's about, I want to say Hallie, yeah. I was like, Haley or Hallie? Hallie. It's a second chance romance. They're not my favorite. I usually think that second chance romances, I don't understand why they give them a second chance. Yeah, it's 10 years later, but he cheated on you like 15 times. Why won't he do it again? I don't get it. This one though, I ate it up. Oh my God. Rio, Malachi from book number 3 has been my favorite. He's a single dad. You know that I am a slut for a good single dad, but Rio knocked him off his high horse. Rio is my favorite out of all of the characters. He has, when you read about him and you've seen him in the other books and then you read his story, Oh my god, this character can do no wrong in my eyes. He is fantastic. I even ended up rooting for them, and I love the way when you figure out what happened when they were younger, and like the guilt he was carrying, the guilt she was carrying, the anger he was carrying, the anger she was carrying. Kind of figured out that it was a little bit misplaced. And when you figure out that it was misplaced, the people that were supposed to kind of be kept accountable for it, or the people that did wrong, they also were like, well, fuck, you know, I've been a bitch. And I love that. I love that it was kind of them admitting that they were young and why they did stuff, but they also kind of were like, well, you know, I did it. I am going to stand by what I did. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. And then when they talk about it, they're like, oh, wow, I really, really treated you badly. I am so sorry. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Rio, favorite character, hands down. Oh, I didn't. He plays hockey, okay? Apparently because I only like hockey. Hockey is my favorite sport. I don't know anything about it, but there you go. Hockey is my favorite sport. He plays hockey. He plays hockey on the same team as the MMC from the first book. He's best friends with the FMC from the second book, and he hangs out with the couples from all the 4 previous books. So there you go. I do have a reading vlog out on it. If you want to go and watch it, I'll link it up here. If this one is a little bit intriguing and you want to hear more about it. But yeah, it's a 5-star. The entire series is a 5-star series for me. I adore this series. I love it. I love it. I'm going to keep it close. Mwah. You know, best book in the world, hands down, favorite book of May. Then I was like, do you know what I feel like I should do right now? I should solve crime. And I didn't. I didn't figure out who did what and why. But also, I didn't really care. I didn't really care. I did not connect to any of these characters. I did not connect to anything. This is Frida McFadden with the boyfriend. I'm not going to tell you much what it's about because it is a psychological suspense. I knew people didn't have, like, this wasn't people's favorite. People didn't really enjoy this one. But I was like, I'm going to try it. I have it. I'm going to try it. It's not a series because I didn't want to start a new series because I also have The Housemaid. But I'm going to try like a single silly standalone, figure out what's it about, and yeah, that's what I have to say. I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care for it. She's looking for the perfect man. He's looking for the perfect victim. He's looking for the perfect victim. So that's like what's with a big text behind here. I did find the writing funny sometimes, like I did giggle, but I didn't feel for the characters. It felt like something was missing in between the pages. It felt a little bit, the story felt rushed. Not necessarily the writing, but the story still felt rushed. I didn't enjoy it. I gave it a 2.5, but I think it should be more like a 2. This is not something that, you know, if you're a rapid Frida McFadden fan, she's your favorite author and you love it, I'm very, very happy for you. I just didn't. I just didn't, which is fine. I am allowed to not like what you like, you know? That's completely fine. You see, the man of your dreams or your worst nightmare? I guess you'll have to read to find out. But I will have to say, the twist at the end, when you figure out who did what and why, I didn't see it coming. I didn't. I thought I had it figured out, which, I mean, no, I did. I'm not even going to say that I kind of did because I didn't. I didn't think in that direction at all. So that took me by surprise. And I think that's why I gave it a 2.5 and not like, you know, a 1. Because it did take me by surprise, but I didn't feel connected to any of the characters. I didn't feel connected to the storyline. Not that I've, you know, had people in my building get murdered, but still, 2.5. I had an okay time, but sadly that was all I had. Then I went over and I read the second book in the DC Stars series, which is Power Play, and yeah, it's a sports romance. It's a hockey sports romance because it's the only sport I care about, and I'm just gonna say yes to all of the above. Liam, the man you are, Jesus fucking Christ. And I don't know why, but the fact that he calls her Pipsqueak just makes me giggle. I know a lot of the characters call her a lot of the team calls her Pipsqueak because it's like their pet name for her, but I just love it. I love it, and I love the way that she is kind of taking control of herself, but I'm not really telling you what the story is about, am I? Okay, this is the second book, like I said, in the DC Stars series, and it's about Liam and it's about Piper. Piper is a divorcee. She has a marriage behind her which wasn't very happy. She wasn't very fulfilled and it gave her a lot of confidence issues. Liam is the goalie for the hockey team. He is the quiet one, the one that kind of likes to be by himself. He has a routine and the routine is like what he does day in, day out. Like you do not get to upset his routine. He likes to do certain things before games, certain things after games. Like this is what he likes to do. If they win, this is what he likes to do. If they don't win. And it's fake dating because she ends up asking him to help her, and in return she is going to be his fake date for his sister's wedding. That is kind of how everything is built up. I did not read the blurb on the back of this book before I started reading it. I just knew that it was about Liam and it was about Piper because that was the only thing that I actually looked up. So there's something on the blurb that I did not see coming. It was a complete surprise to me. It took me through a fucking tornado. I giggled, I stopped reading, I messaged my friend, and then I actually read the blurb while I was like halfway through the book. And it is on the back of the book. If you do not want to get spoiled, because in my head it feels like it's a spoiler, do not read the blurb. Do not read the blurb. Go in a little bit blindly. You know what you need to do. It's fake dating. She's a reporter and he is a goalie for the DC Stars. It's found family. It's about finding yourself and loving yourself. It's about letting other people love you. And I just love the story. I really, really do. The dynamic in these books, it's just wholesome. Will it win an award for like being like the best literary fiction out there? No, it will not. Is that okay? Yes, it is. I loved it. I had so much fun reading it and I gave it 5 stars. I actually think that this could be in the running to be like my favorite sports romance. It's actually going to like bunk down the Windy City series, unless they're going to be like, you know, at the same level. But right now it feels like it can bump it down. And then at the end, because I forgot, then the last book that I've read this month, it's the second book in the Off-Campus series. This one is The Mistake. This one is about John Logan and Grace. Yes, it is. This is kind of second chancey. And yes, I know I have this on my June TBR, but when I picked it, because I picked it a few days before May was over, I really wanted to read it. So I picked it up and read it and I actually finished it before May was over. So that's on me, but okay. I've read one of my June TBRs before June even started. That's impressive. But yeah, this is about John Logan, or Logan as they call him, and it's about Grace. It is second chance-y because I mean, he asks for a second chance to kind of fix what he ruined. And that's kind of all I want to give you. I feel like this is also one of those where it's more fun if you don't really know that much about the story. But the reason he kind of registers that he should talk to her again, I thought it was a very weird. Yeah, it was fun. I did enjoy reading it. This is not my, like going from a power play, which is, it was so fun, it was so silly, it was goofy. I had so much fun reading it. Maybe because they're also like a little bit more of adults. I don't really know, because this is set at Briar University, so they are like young adults. These just feel, I don't know. It's not my favorite series. I also gave this a 3.75 or a 3.5 even, I think. Yeah, I gave this a 3.5 even. It's fun. It's a good series. I am going to finish the series, but this is not going to be my favorite hockey series of all times. It just feels a little bit lacking for me. And it feels, I don't know, a little superficial maybe. Like they talk about what happens and they talk about stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm like, what's going on here? I don't really know. You figure it out, I guess. So the only thing about this one, like one of the things in this one is that there is you meet a character, and I can't like the character. Hats off for Al Kennedy, because you really made me not like this character, and I think that was the point. You're not supposed to like the character, but even though you don't like the character, when something bad happens to them, and Grace helps them, you do feel for them, because at the end of the day, they are just they're just a person trying to survive in this world like everybody else. So, like Grace showing grace is a fantastic trait to have, being nice to people even though people have wronged you, fantastic. But it does feel like, you know, I would like you to eat, but not in my table kind of vibes. I don't know, but they're also young, so they might still be friends. So what the fuck do I know? I don't know them personally. But yeah, that's the books I read in May. And by the time you see this video, we're like halfway through the year. So that's fun. And I'm stressed because I'm gonna get married. Please tell me, how many books did you read in May? What was your favorite book to read in May? Like, if you read one book, would you recommend it? If you read 10 books, which one would you recommend? And yeah, thank you guys so much for spending some of your precious time with me. I really, really do appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you all in the next one.